We might have taken a side path off for a little while in regards to principal METALITE releases, given that we've listened to a couple singles that have not been released on part of major albums, but I've gauged a couple of the previous releases, and we're returning back to the original destination where I started today in getting an introduction to METALITE through their earliest album for one track, Afterlife, and then 3 off of Biomechanicals, and since we've looked at the singles and examined those, I'm now back on the path with A Virtual World, which is the most current album, so you can say I'm a little more up to speed now finally in my introduction to METALITE, which I've wanted to do for a long time, and I've promised in anticipation this would be coming. But like I've said, in regards to the way I approach music, I've wanted to make it, apart from other entertainment ventures of what I featured on this channel, a much grander focus, because music for me has been a first love and the dominant form of choice in artistic expression and favorability for so much of my life. And I love the experience of being able to gauge new artists in regard to fresh talent. And maybe, for you like that experience as well of coming across new groups, but you haven't necessarily known where to look. And let's say you've been artist shopping. I hope that this video, in part, gives you a nice introduction to METALITE. I've quite appreciated their talents. I think they're quite competent artists. I've been very impressed. If you're into electronic rock and metal, I think you're going to really like them. They're also European in origin. They're Swedish, and you know how much I love the European metal scene if you're familiar with the way I cover music on this channel, especially in regards to fresh listens. I love gauging new artists in that realm of the world because there's so much talent there. And Erica Olsen, that was the launch point for me to gain an appreciation, because if it hadn't been for the Mortimia collaboration that she did, Mortimia, for those who don't know, is a metal Norwegian one-man artist, along the symphonic gothic metal lines. Great stuff, by the way. Highly recommend if you've never paid attention to his work or never come across it. Lost Horizon was a fabulous collaboration, and it's really spoke to Erica Olsen's talents as a vocalist. And so far, in what I've experienced in METALITE, which I promised soon after, I gotta check this group out. I love them. Let's gauge the most current of releases through, I've got 3 tracks lined up in selection in accordance with the music videos that they've released of, that's how I'm deciding in terms of what tracks to spotlight. Let's start with A Virtual World. I like the conceptual vibe to this. I get that kind of sense when I read the album cover, I guess, as an image. I wonder if that's sort of the vibe they're going for. I'm going to pull this track up, and if you're somebody that's not familiar with the way I format my music-related coverage on this channel, I'm going to, I don't have to make it separate in this case. Typically, I like to accommodate listener tastes. I will give you the lyrics along with the piece to look at if you'd like to read along with the narrative as we proceed for a track. However, the video has done this for me. Saves me some work. I appreciate that. Even though, hey, I have no problem providing that accommodation, again, to ease perhaps your entrance into a song. I appreciate when artists do the heavy work for me, because it does take time, admittedly. So, A Virtual World. Let's take a look at this and get a perspective on METALITE in modern times. More relevant now that seems a little more caught up.
Systems active.
Oh, that's engaging. Nice speed. Faster than what I've heard thus far. At least it has that pacing and energy. Beautiful step pattern. Paced so well. Very effective. Slowing down a bit, speeding up in parts against that erratic pacing is more of a background element. I wonder what the direction is here. Is this conceptual, or if this is like a real-world commentary? Because it almost seems like an overly glamorous perspective, intentionally. Like it's almost a bit of a satire. The digital orb of light. I like that. I mean, to be fair, in this generation, we're all kind of falling in this mainstay of life.
activated. A virtual world, a cloud in the sky. It's calling you, dreaming of eternal life.
Her vocals again are incredible in that section. Beautiful. Never heard her before. Again, that's such a dynamic range. And it's cool to see her in the background singing as well. It gives a nice dimension to the video. Okay, we're elevating the key here. I wonder if we're going to return back. Oh no. Let's see. Nice riff. We're in the mood for a solo break. This is typical that I've never heard their structure in their pieces. They oftentimes take the instrumental pause. It works. Okay, we've elevated the key. I feel like it's gonna stick with that. Nice plug.
Mission complete.
Oh no, we're returning. Nice pulsating. I like that structure. Wonderful characteristic to this piece. I love it so much. Love it. Wonderful. An end measure climb. Love it. Again, it's such a good capping. I'm part of, again, Erica Olson's talents. She really is a gifted artist. I love listening to her. Again, like I said, I have to wonder in terms of the scope of this piece if it is more so manifesting like a fictional story or if it is in part. This is the interlude track on the album, I believe. Yeah, it's the first one. And it's the title of the album anyway, so it makes sense. I wonder if this is kind of a commentary on the real state of life. You know, I say this as somebody who, I'm not trying to anyway position myself as a hypocrite. I get it. I'm utilizing technology and I spend a lot of time in regard to social media and in my private life, working online. I might as well live in a digital world for how much time I spend. I get it. Like I said, I'm no saint. But, a lot of us are in that mainstay of life. So perhaps what the song is casting as this vision of this type of life, most of us are already in that. So again, I wonder if perhaps METALITE is offering a bit of a commentary here on the state of our world. I mean, it's got a key focus in that. There's specific terms in here that fit with that integration of where we are personally. Even though it has a bit of a timelessness, even if you could look at it more broadly speaking of outside of considering specifically social media or what we consider a virtual world, you can expand that other places. Basically, maybe anything that takes you out of real life and it works as a distraction. Again, music's open to interpretation. I do wonder if there is an extra dimension in regards to an authentic mission to offer enlightenment on what all of us are really dealing with, in our lives, what we're not cognizant of on a day-to-day basis in how we manage our time and how we're oftentimes maybe floating into that cloud in the sky. I love the way this is presented. Again, I feel like it's almost given this overly glamorized perspective intentionally, in part because it's kind of satirical. It's calling you dreaming of eternal life for everyone who got the key inside their minds. Oh, isn't that relevant? I mean, we speak about different types of technologies, or at least in development. I mean, Neuralink? I don't know, forgive me if I come across like that type of stuff in terms of conversation. Like, that's like Mark of the Beast type stuff. I'm not into that. Nor would I ever be into somebody putting like a chip in my brain. Never happening. A place you call home, a safe place to stay, leaving the real world and never go astray. I love that line. Again, like I said, I wonder if there's obviously truth to this, but I wonder what the direction is in regards to the band. I can only surmise the lonely nights will pass you by, released from the pain deep inside. Well, technology is a distraction. I love it. The digital orb of life will help you through the night. It's funny. It's got a great presence. I mean, again, the pattern of the lyrics and the music as well, and her vocal styling, wonderful. That pulsating pattern on the end verse, great integration. I love that element so much. Keeps that energy going. But it does reduce it again from that necessary pause and instrumental break. Great interlude to the album, sets up a very dynamic release, and I can't wait to proceed forward through it with at least 2 more works. I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. If this is indeed a first exposure for you in regards to METALITE, I would love to hear your opinion on them as a group. Or maybe you're, somebody that's been an established fan. Maybe you have your own insight into what the song is talking about in regards to the angle. I'd love, or maybe you have some insight perhaps in the band, what was envisioning, maybe, whereas I don't. I would love to hear your perspective down below, should you wish to disclose it, for the rest of us, including myself. I'd love to get that background and that interaction as well with different pieces, especially on introductory works. Thus far, I've really enjoyed METALITE and what I've heard, and A Virtual World is no exception. It's great to say now I'm in the current mode of where everybody else is. I'm almost all caught up. I got 2 more works to look at, I guess, to where we're all sitting at, but I like the album start so far. It's great. I can't wait to add on at least 2 more tracks to this piece in regard to what I'm covering here, because METALITE, again, like I've said, I've loved them from what I've heard. Thank you so much for watching this video. Before you bounce, feel free to drop a like and comment, subscribe to this channel with a ding on the bell, and share this video with your friends. And consider checking out the description here. There you'll find links to my other channels, as well as addresses to my other social media accounts and ways you can help support my work if you feel so inclined. May God bless you, and looking forward to when our paths cross again.